oppressive feelings in the body.
Masturbation.
So so if you stressed and you're at work, just go to the bathroom and come back. Get yourself together.
She said if you stress and at work, you saying go to the bathroom and get yourself
that's
off.
what you got to get your. If you got to get your life together,
that's where most masturbation happens. It happens in the restrooms at work for men and women,
and at the tanning salon. You little nasty little things, y'all, all in the tanning bed rubbing on.
You know, these things happen, so it shouldn't be something that's embarrassing. Because from my experience and even with my clients, it's just what happens. Just that we're not going to admit to it.
No, we ain't.
So, and that's where I come in at where I'm going to say I'm going to admit to all of my clients that they do these things. So,
okay, so
that's my opinion. I think
so we should
it's
be
very
doing
healthy. It's part of sexual health, and it also builds that intimacy level with your partner when they are able to see what you're doing to get yourself off, because no one knows how you're feeling but you when you're doing it. Yeah. So that's my statement.
Nikki?
I think there's a couple things. One, if you're going to the doctor and the doctor is telling you need to check your breast monthly for lumps or changes, and you need to check your vagina if you're having sex, or your penis, make sure you don't have anything abnormal. They're not telling you to masturbate and doing that, but if you can't even check yourself, if you can't masturbate, then you can't possibly do what the doctor's expecting you to do for health. Well, it's because people have just been shamed, and it's wrong. And
it's yours.
In this country, if you want to call it a country, in this country, that's what they shame you. They want everybody to have on clothes. You want everybody, don't touch anybody, don't look at anybody, don't anything of that nature. But at the end of the day, I agree, it's definitely healthy. For sex or making love or intimacy, you definitely need to be able to know the ins and outs of your own body before you can expect anybody to help you reach a certain point. And if you have a partner, then you want to kind of know his ins and outs, and you'll learn that by watching him do certain things. And that also builds, to the orgasmic state. That also builds to just so many different things. So I don't think masturbation is wrong. It does help you release hormones and, endorphin, things that can get you happy, help you sleep, let you know what's going on with your body. So there's nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, and this is just a little side note that might touch on some other things, but like women, we have the yoni eggs, and we're supposed to be doing Kegels and things of that nature. Like you're sitting in your car doing Kegels, or you have your yoni egg inserted, and you're at a light. I mean, sometimes heck, you go get waxed, and everything's extra sensitive down there. You're walking and you're like, woo, wait, okay, like those are all things that it's just your body's way of talking to you, and you talking to your body. So
I've had women that say that they don't like doing it; they want a man to do it. So that's what keeps some women that I've talked to from masturbating. I don't know, that some of them just don't feel comfortable with touching themselves, and they just want a man to please themselves. And, and I think it's to each his own. You know what I'm saying? If a female don't like touching herself, it's her body. She don't have to. Yeah, we can throw all the science at it all we want. But if she's not comfortable with touching her body and she wants a man to do it, then, hey, that's what our job's for. Tell me what you want me to do, and I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to explore your body. So even if you don't know, I'm going to explore it to figure out what it is that, I like that right there. Do that again. You see what I'm saying? And that's the man's job. Explore that woman. Explore her. You may show her some stuff about herself that she don't know. You see what I'm saying? So yes, men, man, you do your job, man. Come on, quit being cheap out there, man. Put some time in that thing.
Yeah, everything shouldn't be about quickies. You need to
playing too much out here.
And that's to me, I think all that goes into foreplay, because a lot of men want to rush into having sex. They think just doing the oral stimulation is getting you prepared, and then bam, they want to go right into penetration.
I get turned on if I turn you on.
Well, yeah, but they miss that step of, like you said, exploring. You guys taking that time to explore one another, and then get to that whole point of penetration. That leads up to that orgasm that you're looking for, because you done took that time to explore her body. She's taking the time to explore yours. But you have to be comfortable. That goes back to being vulnerable, being in a position where you could be vulnerable with somebody to do that, that goes back to what happened to you as a child. If you experience any type of sexual abuse, I'm a victim or survivor of sexual abuse. So for me, for a long time, being sexual was I was ashamed to be sexual. I suppressed it. I didn't lose my virginity till I was going into my senior year of college. So even after that, I still went long periods of time where I was practicing celibacy. So I was ashamed of just being sex. I was ashamed of men touching me. I was ashamed of all of that. So you have to be, and that's why when we talk about masturbation, I was ashamed to do that because I'm like, oh, that ain't me touching my own body. And I think I just told one of my friends the other day, like, I didn't win transparency. I didn't win buy me a toy. Yes, I did.
Right. Come on with it.
I was like, I'm not gonna. I have this stigma about touching myself with my hands. Like I ain't gonna do that. But I'll explore with a toy. But even with that, just being comfortable with using your fingers, your own 2 fingers to get you off. That's just not. We just all this stigma and everything that's attached to it. I think we need to.
Now, as far as men with masturbating, okay, men, I think that you should do it. And I think that you should do it often. Reason being, it is a workout for the penis. And what I mean by that is because if a lot of men have problems with premature ejaculation, the more you masturbate, you start building up those different tolerances. So you're able to tolerate a vagina longer, and you can please a woman longer with your penis because you have masturbated enough to build up that stamina because you're touching it and you're working on those nerve endings as well as working on your brain to try to control that coming instinct. You see what I'm saying? And then that way, when it's time for you to have intercourse with a woman, you're able to please her for however long you want to because you've masturbated and able to build up that stamina in order to please her. And I know a lot of men out there know what I'm talking about. Yeah. That second one, boy, that second one is a beast, boy. Y'all know what I mean, boy. Get that first one out the way because that second one is some drama about to go down.
So what are your thoughts about masturbation?
Well, so let me ask this question. Do you feel that masturbation should replace a sexual relationship? So let's say you don't have anybody. Do you think that then on its own can replace it?
I mean, if you don't have nobody and you don't want to be a whore or you don't want to be out here sleeping around, yes, you need to stimulate yourself. Okay. You need to. And I think that's a safe way to do it. That way we keep ourselves from getting diseases and then running into the wrong people. When we have sex with people, we pick up the spirits and demons that they have. So yes, if you're not in a relationship with somebody, get yourself together because it's safe. And it's gonna help release your own tensions.
Even if you're in a relationship with somebody, you still need to get yourself together because they're not gonna always be available. So and when they can't be available, you pull out that tool.
For men, you know what I'm saying. For men, that builds up that tolerance. That builds up that stamina. You know what I'm saying. Yeah. So I know some men don't like to do it. And, to each his own, just like a woman. Some women don't like touching themselves, to each his own. You know what I'm saying? But just because you don't do it, don't knock a man that do. You don't touch yours, I touch mine. I don't care what you think.
So I have one more question related to that. As women, should women feel offended if after intercourse your man masturbates?
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
What was that, Miss Tia? Run that back.
Should women feel offended that if after intercourse their man starts to masturbate? Should they be offended? Is that natural? What is that? What does that mean?
Okay, I can answer that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's hypothetically say that. Okay, doctors, there's a term that is called blue balls, as we would say. Okay, and that's a term when a man is so sexually aroused and he doesn't get to ejaculate. What happens is the testicles become swollen and they could potentially turn blue. So if a man is having intercourse with you or if he's doing some form of intimacy or y'all doing some form of sexual act and he don't get to come, then yes, he needs to release that tension so he don't have or get blue balls. Now, if he masturbates after y'all have intercourse, either he is still highly turned on, he's still highly horny, and he wants to get himself off again. I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing and that a woman didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, personally, I've never experienced that, but I wouldn't be offended. And again, I am a tourist, so I probably would do some freaky stuff, to help him in that process. So no, I wouldn't be offended.
Right.
I would understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. Carol?
I can say that never happened to me.
Right.
And I think that that's when we should kick in gear our responsibility in that sexual realm as well. Because if they are masturbating in front of you, what could you do in that moment to help with that situation?
Mm-hmm.
So, and just vice versa, I have seen women. Well, let me not say I seen, but I have heard of women who have masturbated after sex as well because they didn't get off and he was taking too long to get back up. So I don't see why it's a big difference if a woman does it versus male. I just think that in either case, if you guys are sitting there, that's when someone should take some initiative and do other things to help you get off where you need to get off versus just sitting there looking crazy and getting offended.
Yeah, let me help you out.
I think we all need to, especially women, need to get out of our feelings a lot and just kick in that sexual beast and go and do what you need to do.
I'm talking about beast mode.
I'm just saying, just to be honest, because we can't keep thinking all of these unrealistic feelings every time our partner do something that we don't think about. It's not something that we personally didn't do and he didn't do, just have from our own experience. So if he just can't come back up, you already had like 3 or 4 rounds.
You just can't.
Just do what you need to do.
Exactly.
We got a couple of comments from Facebook.
Don't look at things negatively.
Exactly.
Look at everything positive.
Timothy Franklin, I believe if you have that physical connection with your partner, you can feel if she reaches her climax. To Sweat's point, if you're paying attention to your spouse and not just yourself and communicating with each other, then you're both reached that ending. Eric, masturbation is practice. Practice everything to become great.
Come on, E. Come on, E. That's my dog right there.
Masturbation is just temporary to me. You eventually long for the other person's touch. Eric Shelton, sometimes 2 isn't enough, and if the woman can't keep going, we have to get it out if we're in pain. Okay, if we're in pain.
Yeah.
Bring out the toy box. Carol, 100% right. I guess where we land with masturbation is,
that's what I'm talking about. E.
Like it's practice makes
nice
perfect.
way to hold me down, fam. Nice way to hold me down.
It's a natural thing, so don't feel ashamed.
Yeah, Mr. Shelton, hold me down.
Do it if you need to go buy you some toys. There's
And I just want to say this in a more of a my practice that is one of the things that we teach men when they're trying to learn how to prolong sex is to masturbate and delay when they feel that they're about to come. We tell them to stop or slow down or for them to be mindful of how they're feeling. And then once it comes down some, then to go back into it. So everything that you said is actually a technique that we use to help those who comes to us with sexual dysfunction.
Told you I've been studying.
Yes,
I've been studying. I was a youngster in this game with
He
it.
said he went to the library. He didn't learn. He read the actual textbook.
He done learned some more toys. He learned whisks and oils.
It's a dual tool.
Hey, that's whenever you see a dude, whenever you see a dude jumping out, going back in, jumping out, going back in, he's working on it.
Yes.
and we should appreciate that his soul he wants to please you. If he's doing that, he does want to please you.
I call it the lick and stick technique. You pull out, lick it, and then go back and stick it. You pull out and lick it, and go back and stick
Yeah,
it.
so I do have a
The
question
lick and stick
for the panel.
You over here a mess, Dorian.
Oh, he is just.
You got to go into PG mode.
He is in rare form.
I didn't say nothing that was derogatory.
So how can help us out here? How can a woman find her G spot? And how can the man find it? So let's take the first part of it. So how can a woman find her G spot? I know
she's masturbating. That's from that perspective. If she's masturbating, how can she find that G spot?
Yes.
So So the G spot is.
Does it exist? Is
it
it really
does
Yes.
exist?
It
Yeah.
does.
And I don't know exactly where I heard this from, but if you take your finger, first of all, the vaginal canal is